What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Tony G, and we are here. We're back. We figured out our little technical issues that we had going. Well, we haven't completely figured out, but we feel like we've pretty much figured it out. And we are back, bringing you some high-quality, fastest map possible StarCraft. And we have ourselves a goodie here today. It's your boy Tony G in an epic rematch. Protoss versus MAMBA. MAMBA isn't tagged up as Ghosty. Tony G is the Ghost CPU, and they will be mid-building versus mid-build again. The last time in the they've 1v1 like a bajillion times, and this is only the second time ever they have gotten Protoss versus Protoss, and we are going to see how it goes. The first time Tony G was able to edge it out as MAMBA did a weird forge kind of blocking thing. We'll see how it goes this time. MAMBA always trying to do some wild stuff. The first scouts are going to go off, not going to be found. And we're going to see if MAMBA is going to throw it on the gateway. He doesn't know that's Protoss. Of course, this was R versus R. Random versus random. So they don't know that it is Protoss versus Protoss yet. Their probes have not yet seen each other or anything yet. They are going to go into the second closest spots to travel to and see that their opponents are not there. A second probe is coming out for Tony G to build that third gateway. He's going to have two probes searching out on the map, and that could be very, very beneficial, because once you find your opponent, it is just a lot easier, especially this early in the game. You can see exactly what they're doing. Again, going to just miss that mid-build. They still have not seen each other yet. The two probes going for Tony G. MAMBA usually has pretty go-through scouting, but he is unable to find Tony G, going down to a third location, and he's not going to be able to find him. Tony G does have 3 gateways, 2 zealots are being produced. MAMBA chose to go for the 4 gateways, 2 pylons is at his home. Tony G did throw down a pylon here, throwing down 1 more pylon at home. MAMBA is also getting his 3rd pylon at the home, and now, Tony G's beautiful probe is going to be able to locate MAMBA. Going to see that it is Protoss for Protoss. They are both going to know that. But Tony G is going to be able to send his zealots, or at least rally his zealots right over. MAMBA is going to see that he is going to be mid-building versus mid-building. He is going to have to prepare accordingly. Tony G does have 2 probes. He loves getting these probes in to try to get a cannon up if he can. It's such a sneaky little sneaker sneak. He does have his forge up over here. The 2 zealots for MAMBA going up into the top right corner. But top right corner, yeah, but it's not going to be the right location. Tony G has his zealots going down into the correct location as he was properly scouted. The forge not quite done yet for MAMBA. Tony G does have 2 probes inside of the base, and he is continuing to make zealots at home. MAMBA also is going to have 1 additional gateway, but these first zealots are going to get 1 probe kill, 2 probe kills, 3 probe kills. So MAMBA's zealots are now going up to Tony G, going to try to do some counter pressure of his own. These zealots are going to try to fight the other zealots instead of continuing to get probes. 2 cannons are at home for Tony G, so that is the benefit of the delay. He was able to get those cannons up, knowing that this harassment is most likely what's going to be happening. He does have a pylon up at home. More zealots are going to run by that mid build to try to harass these probes. MAMBA does have 2 zealots though back at home in pretty good position to be able to block these zealots from getting too much damage down. MAMBA does have a couple zealots over here trying to take down the probe on a clicked move. Tony G's zealots are in here fighting, not being able to get the probes, but they are outnumbering these zealots, so they are going to be able to actually get a couple kills off here, get a little shot off on the Nexus. Hey, why not? Tony G continuing to pump zealots, going to be able to defend his gateways while continuing to pressure, not clicking on the probes, though. Tony G should be trying to focus these probes as much as possible, but he does have 3 cannons built out of sight of Mr. MAMBA, so he is going to be able to get these cannons up again. Tony G, oh my gosh, how do you get these up? A Nexus going down for both of our players. Actually, Tony G's Nexus is almost done. He threw that down that way earlier. MAMBA's Nexus going down just now. More zealots, and another probe is rallying in here. These cannons are inching closer. MAMBA does now spot it. He is getting a couple defensive cannons up of his own. MAMBA doing a pretty good job here, doing actually an excellent job here, blocking these zealots that were rallied in here, getting a bunch of shots off on them. 1 cannon going to go down here to try to protect these gateways as well. No gas or anything for either player. Yep, this is going to be where the battle is going to be happening. These zealots and cannons will be fighting to try to end the game as early as possible if he can these cannons, if they get in range of the Nexus and are able to take it down, it could be detrimental. Mamba knows this, and he is going to pull the probes. These cannons back here that he did not see are going to get a couple shots off on those probes, but Mamba does take care of these cannons that are in range. One Zealot going to try to get some range off, but no, Tony G does just cancel those last cannons, knowing that Mambro did defend this properly and pretty good. We can see the supplies though. Tony G is ahead, 40 supply. He does have his 2 gas up and a cybernetics core, so his tech and supply is really ahead right now. Probably not the most ahead in army supply. Actually, I'm not even sure exactly where all of Mamba's supply is. Tony G could probably still be pressuring here a little bit more, maybe not realizing exactly how far ahead he is. Throwing down 3 more gateways. I wonder if he's going to get down a Robo, or he's going to try to tech into... Yeah, he's okay. He's going to get the Citadel of Adun, not just going to go right into the Robotech. Going to get those speed zealots, or maybe just try to get DTs a little bit early. That can help and change the tide of these fights that do happen all around the map. Mamba getting some pylons up here, making sure that Tony G does not get any more cannons going. We do see the Robo facility now going down for Tony G. Tony G's going to have his Robo down before Mamba does even start collecting gas. He did get a little bit behind in the early game, losing a couple probes, probably the production of probes a little bit, and just having to defend instead of attack. Excuse me. God. The probe here getting found by Mr. Mambro. Going to take that out in case any kind of proxy Robo wants to be thrown down. Tony G adding more gateways here at home, continuing to pump Zealots from these 3 gateways. It looks like, yeah, Zealot speed is going to be going down. A couple cannons making sure that no proxy Robo is going to go down. He doesn't see that only the gas now starting for Mamba. He is now going to be pretty far behind, at least tech-wise, for the rest of the game. He probably does have now a better economy. He's going to go throw down his 3rd Nexus 2, which always does help once players are trading the drops. We see a little bit of a Zealot right here. The colors are pretty much identical, so you can't really tell who's winning, but it does look like Mambro has more Zealots here. Tony G needs to rally up with his Zealot brethren here. The supply 72 to 92. Tony G still up by about 20 supplies, so trading right now isn't a bad idea. He does now have more gateways than Mambro. His robotics... Where did I just see that? Yeah, robotic support bay just finishing. Gonna get that shuttle speed ASAP. Mambro starting to cannon up for those potential drops. His core almost done, nearly halfway done. The battle gonna go down here. Tony G should have more Zealots. We'll see if he's able to come out on top on these really similar color battles, which are super hard to distinguish which team is really winning, but it does look like Tony G is coming out on top. That main battle in going in his favor. Mamba doing his best micro, having 220 plus APM. We do see another gateway going down in here now. He does have his triple up and going. He does only have 2 gas. Tony G getting his 3rd gas here. A couple probes there being AFK while these battles. The Zealot speed is upgraded, so now these Zealot reinforcements will be coming in a lot faster. It looks like Tony G is going to be able to take out the 4 gateways, leaving only 2 gateways back at home. More cannons going to get thrown down at home, knowing that he may be in some danger here. These Zealots are going to run by these gateways. A pretty good choice. Make sure that Mamba cannot establish a choke point. He does not want to get the choke point. The reinforcements can take that out. Good job pressuring as much as he can. More and more cannons are going to be thrown down by Mamba. Mamba knowing that he is now on the defensive end. He is far behind. 109 supply to 60 supply. Tony G absolutely not missing a beat here. Doing a great job. He does have his first shuttle up. 2 Reavers are in queue. Another robotics facility, an observer bay, and all of his forges are going to go down here to maximize his upgrades. Having a 3-3 is pretty good. We do have no, he did actually take out, Mamba did take out that 1 forge. It probably did have 1 upgrade going. Tony G does love to get those upgrades going with his first early gas on those early forges before he throws down another forge to get that +1. It can always just really turn the tides in those battles. 2 Robos getting thrown down back here for Mr. Mambro, which is a pretty good idea. They'd be pretty vulnerable over here. And the first Zealots are going to come in here, but that is a lot of cannons and goons. These Zealots spreading out. He does need to pull these back, wait for his Dragoon brethren to at least get some shots off. Mamba having quite the ugly base, but this is what the kind of stuff that you have to do when you get in these kind of situations to hold on. Tony G's supply is... Or not Tony G's supply, Tony G's minerals are getting out of control. He needs to get down more gateways. We can see the 2 probe going down there to try to get up those gateways as quick as possible. Mamba holding on with his goons right now, and lots of cannons here. Gonna have his robos producing some reavers. Now Tony G's drop is gonna be coming down right as those robos finish, so you can see just how quick or how far ahead he was in the tech from that really early battle. We'll see if he can capitalize on that. There is a lot of cannons here, but perhaps there is a spot somewhere back here if he is able to sneak in. We'll see how this drop goes. This could be a game changer. If he is able to get back here, he could win the game. Tony G, do you have the map packs to sneak back here and get yourself a GG? What are you doing with that drop? The drop right now being AFK. Tony G not microing the best right now. What are you doing with that drop, Tony G? 1:56 8 p.m. His 8 p.m. is slipping right now. Massing up those gateways at home, knowing he is potentially close to a win here. Mamba going to try to reestablish his choke. Observer going down. Tony G maybe just waiting for that before any DTs come out. I don't know. Trying to find a path. I don't know. This drop, he's being AFK. It was ready 1 minute ago, but Tony G not capitalizing. Still no cannons back here. He could be slipping around, not doing it with Tony! Why, Tony? He must have just forgot about it. We do see an observer coming down here. Going to make sure that no DTs can push him back. And another mass comes in here, 160 to 115 supply. The Reavers are going to just drop down at the front and fight the battle to take out this choke. Probably not the best idea, not the worst idea, but at least he's using it now. I really wish I saw this and drop down there, because that is a super duper weak spot here. Going to move these Reavers forward. Mamba having 2 dropships out and turning to mass Reavers, now getting down 5 robotics facilities here. That is a lot of robotics. Oh, and what was that? No, yeah, 2 more. 3 more. So Mamba is going to go full Reaver mode here. It looks like that is going to be his plan of attack to hold off this clearly advantage that Tony G has, nearly maxed out versus 125 supply on the offense. These defensive Reavers, oh no, are they going to be defensive or are they going to be going on the offense? It looks like they are going to be defensive, going to be placed in these positions closer to these cannons that they will get protected. More and more reinforcements are pouring down. Tony G dropship going to go back home, maybe pick up a couple more Reavers. He does need to start doing some high Templar drops. I don't see where even is his Templar of Archive. Hopefully he does have it somewhere, and I'm just missing it because it doesn't look like he has one. So maybe just going to be focusing on those Reaver drops here. The Reavers do take a lot of gas, and yeah, they are also pretty good versus ground units. Cannons, Reaver, pretty strong. Tony G going to try to throw down some cannons inside of Mamba's base to make sure that he cannot re-establish that choke. That is what the Protoss player definitely is going to try to do in this situation. If you can re-establish this choke, it's just way easier to defend than having to spread out all your units here. Tony G doing a pretty good job spreading out his units. A couple of these units getting misrallied as he is trying to target some cannons up here to get these drops in more effectively. Cannons are going down inside of Mambro's base. Pretty BM stuff. The Reavers pushing forward. A lot of kills. That one guy had 8 there that just died. Gonna get taken out though by the Reavers. I wonder if Mamba has the Scarab upgrade. He got that before the drops. I'm not exactly sure. These misrallied units do need to join the fray ASAP. These cannons are perhaps not going to be get up. These Reavers are pushing forward as there is a little break in the mass here. Tony G is maxed out. He just, oh, there we go. He is going to resend those units over here. Going to try to push these Reavers back as much as he can and continue this pressure. See if he can finish off Mambro. Not let him get back in here. Mambro does have been pumping from his triple nexus, so his economy is going to be out of control eventually if it is not disturbed. We can just see the cannons just trying to protect these Reavers as much as possible. We do have a pretty good whatever choke here. Re-established choke farther inside. Reaver spread. Good looking stuff here. Going to be pretty good versus these zealots that are just going to run into the cannon fire and to the Reaver fire. Cannons are established. Going to slow down him just that tiniest little bit. Still no drops here. Tony G could still really... There is still a really big weak spot, basically right there. Mamba going to be adding some cannons as he does see that, knowing that a mass Reaver drop or a mass drop is going to basically be inevitable. Only 2 robos for Tony G, so he is going to be. He does feel at this point that he can perhaps win with a mass. He is just sending in not the best attack, so just running in 12 zealots at a time. Basically letting these units die off for no reason. He does need to group up. The first drop for Tony G, or I guess the second drop coming in for Tony G. No, pretty much the first drop coming in for the Reaver is going to shoot the cannon, though. For some reason, drops another Reaver before it goes down. He's going to be able to get one side of the thing. Another Reaver going to go down and get a lot of probe kills here. 2 more Reavers are going to go down here defensively. That was pretty good damage there, but it looks like Mamba was able to save still a lot of probes. Goons here continuing to try to get some damage here. These Reavers are useless while their Scarabs build, but once they're done, they're gonna go kaboomy. An observer here still making sure that those DTs aren't going to be able to stop him. A nice gateway mass is up for our Tony G player. We do have a little probe. He was able to sneak out and build a single gateway over here. Not sure exactly how helpful that is, but in the later games that definitely will be helpful, as his base is quite ugly and will not be able to fit in a lot of gateways. Again, a miss rally here by Tony G, which is just going to make this army again not do anything. Luckily is able to take a Reaver out there that was slacking. We do see now more, there we go, a bunch more robos now being thrown down by Tony G, realizing that he may not be able to kill Mass Reaver with just ground units, especially if you're only going to send them in 12 at a time. We do see another drop here is going to be prepared. It's going to be the first High Templar drop. The Reaver's phase may be over. We do see 5, 6, 7, 8 robos here, and Tribunal being built. So it looks like Mamba is preparing for the extreme late game. Going to try to go for Reaver recalls, it looks like. Oof. Tony G does have an observer in here, so he is seeing that Mamba is close to taking back his choke, so he is going to do mass in another round of Zealous. But while this is all happening, I didn't even notice that Mamba is able to sneak in a drop here. Tony G was able to pull a couple probes, it does look like, and he is going to be able to save his main miraculously. That drop found a pretty good spot here and got that down to 425 supply. That could have been basically GG there. Tony G is pretty broke. Gonna pull all those probes out. Okay, good. He was able to save all of his probes at least, so he isn't gonna be able to, or didn't take too much damage there. That was definitely going for the main. These dropships are going to go back, try to load up. Mamba doesn't have the biggest bank. He is spending his money a lot, and I guess he did take damage from that Reaver drop, so he is definitely hurting right now. Probably wanted to get that main to definitely get himself for sure back in it and in a position to win. We see the 102 upgrades to 111 upgrades, so they're basically even. Mamba going to be pushing out a little bit more attack, but Tony G having a little bit more damage here. Throwing down a Reaver at the front in front of 3 Reavers, and it's just going to blow up pretty quickly here. These Reavers continuing to push forward. I'm going to be trying to look on that minimap a little bit more for those drops that are incoming so I don't miss it. It's on a single player, so everything's a little bit more choppy on the mini-map, I noticed, than when you're live. Another drop looks like it's preparing for Mr. Mombro. Going to pick up all the Reavers that are defending his base, so going to leave his base a little bit vulnerable while he does go over to try to finish off that main. Going to get that drop together. We are going to keep an eye on that. We do see some DTs from Tony G going in here. The drop is going to now take off. Not much on the map for Tony G to detect, though, so he can prepare himself to pull. His economy isn't the worst right now, but that CC is just really close. Maybe he should build some shield batteries around there. Tony G's drop going in here. 178 supply to 120, 130, 180 to 130 supply right here. We're going to stay on that before it changes again. More and more Reavers, though, are coming out of these tons of robotic facilities. They may be up in time, I'm not sure, and more units are rallying down here, pressuring Mamba more and more. This drop coming in here. Tony G did not make many more cannons in that location, but it looks like he was able to at least spot this drop somewhere. Is going to get all of his probes up here. Hopefully he takes them away and they don't let them blow up. The Reavers are going to drop pretty, dropping one at a time, not attacking the main. Oh my goodness. Mombro does get that main despite those Reavers dropping not the best. Tony G able to keep his probes alive, though. That is super crucial. He is getting closer and closer to Mambro's main. Mamba also super weak. I don't know. I think Tony G must have dropped at the same time as that. Yeah, it definitely did, because Mamba does not have any probes. So I think Tony G got a storm drop off while all that was happening. So Tony G trading his main for all of the probes here. Both of these players absolutely crippled. Mamba still holding on, though. He does now probably have the tech lead. He does have a better unit compilation for the late game. Tony G really just massing, still trying to keep that pressure on, making sure that even these scarabs that are being built are going to affect his economy. The one bad thing about Reavers in these kind of situations is it does cost money for them to attack. So if you get broke, these Reavers will be useless. And we'll see if that comes into effect. Mamba massing all Reavers. Doesn't have a single gateway even, except for these 2 gateways over here. Only going to be able to build Reavers now. Reavers and 1 Arbiter at a time. So that is going to be costly for him. Another massive drop coming in here. A High Templar drop going to come in here. Try to do what it can to Mamba's not very good economy. Tony G does not have a main, though, so his economy not the best either. The drop coming in here. Let's see if it's going to get some kills. No. Good pull by Mambro. Bad storm by Tony G. At least it did get the probes off for a while. They still haven't not... Oh, we did get a storm! Sneaky old Tony G. I didn't even see that because that back screen up there. He did have that second High Templar. Was able to save that drop and get another storm off, getting at least a couple probes there. And yeah, Mamba absolutely broker than a joker here. Another drop coming in, another High Templar drop coming in for Tony G. Really does not want Mamba to get back into this game. He knows he does have him on the ropes, even though there is a lot of Reavers here. Mambro's super duper poor, but he does have a main and a triple and a lot of just good units. So it's going to come down to these drops. Can Tony G get a drop off where he gets all of these probes? The High Templar, where even is the dropship going down? Another awful drop by Tony G. I don't even understand what happened there. What did he do? Where did the High Templars even go? I don't understand. 2 absolutely brutal drops there by Tony G. Going to allow Mambro to get that economy back up a little bit. Tony G was able to scope this little bit of an expo, making sure that Mamba isn't collecting anywhere else on the map, knowing that he has to be pretty poor, even though he missed those last couple of drops. Tony G has a couple of Reavers out here. He is now broke. It is the first time, I think, in the game that Mamba does have a supply lead. 140 to 128 supply. Did Tony G somehow blow this? Did Mamba sneak his way back into this game after getting himself in a pretty big hole at the beginning? Well, not a pretty big hole, just losing a couple probes. And yeah, I guess that is really in the tech. I guess that he was down in tech at the beginning. Tony G was able to get his drop out before the robo was even finished, but he just did not do a very good job. Possibly could have GG'd him if he had a little bit of map hacks and went down there. But he just let it AFK right there and then tried to join the army. You can see this observer of Tony G getting absolutely massive information. It's been alive all game since that 11-minute mark, and he's been able to just keep seeing when Mamba's going to try to reestablish that choke and then try to stop it from happening. We see the supplies now. Okay, Tony G back in the supply lead. 176 to 155 supply. Looks like he's massing up a big drop of his own. He does want to try to even the fields here with perhaps a main snipe of his own. High Templars are going to load up here for Mambro. Going to go ahead and try to storm away all of these probes. They're even harder to dodge when they are like this. Gas collection is just brutal too. You got to do what you can, though. Can't be too greedy without a main. This Zealot doing work over here, taking out all of this potential expo that Mamba wanted to do. Tony G going to start throwing down cannons at each of these mining spots. Not only does that give you some map control, but that will also stop the Protoss player from getting anything up. All of these dropships are full of Reavers and units. These guys are going to drop each other at the same time again. It looks like that is a lot of Reavers. Mamba's drop coming in here while Tony G's drop going in. Tony G gonna lose basically all of his probes, but Mamba also gonna lose all of his probes at that same time. And oh my goodness, is Tony G going to be able to get this next one? That is a lot of zealots, and only 3 Reavers really going to be able to focusing on that. While these zealots do take out these cannons from being able to target these Reavers at least, so they are going to be able to get a bunch of shots off. No, their main is going to go down. Tony G is going to even the playing field, make sure that no mains for nobody in this game. 106 supply, so 72 supply. Ghosty Mamba, aka Mamba, does have a little bit of a bank here, but he has absolutely no probes. Tony G was able to save a little bit of probe just from collecting in these whack gas spots, so he is going to have a little bit of a probe advantage, but he is broker than a choker. You can see 22 supply and only 60, or 22 minerals and only 64 supply. Meanwhile, Mamba has 104 supply, but hardly any probes. So, and again here, like we said earlier, these Reavers cost money. So once these Scarabs are all shot, it's going to really hurt Mambro. He's not going to be able to really afford it, especially if Tony G does get another drop off here. He was able to save basically all of his dropships here, so that is at least a good thing. Most of his supply is in dropships. He did just make a bunch of High Templars here. Gonna maybe go for another big drop here, or maybe just a storm drop. He wants to keep a couple of these Reavers alive just in case something mega crazy happens. He does need to have at least a couple units on the map. I don't see another unit really on the map at all for Tony G, so he is struggling right now. Mamba, both of these players have absolutely done crippling blows to each other. Mamba, though, down to 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11 probes now. 2 collecting gas versus, wow, 12, 14. Oh, he did see the drop. That's why he's pulling these. I was wondering. Okay, that there is a High Templar in here. He does really need to get some damage off. Observers and Reavers coming on over here. This probe is going to be able to scout this. The massive drop here for Tony G coming in here. I guess it only has that 1 High Templar in here, but a lot of drop ships to protect. They're going to drop those 2 Reavers and get another beautiful storm off, killing even more. Oh, and another storm off. Tony G. Oh, Yauchi Mama. Oh, and we are going to see a GG. We were talking in chat. He did say GG. We were talking in social during this game. But that is going to be the devastating blow. Mamba down to 0 probes, and all he had left was Reavers that do cost money, and that he's not going to be able to afford Scarab. You can't afford Scarabs if you don't got no money. Tony G going to squeak that victory out here and remain undefeated in the PvP matchup against Mamba. 2-0 out of our nearly 1,000 1v1s that we've played. 2-0 in the PvP, the most important, the most skilled matchup, in my opinion. And, yeah, wow! That's a GG. And until next time, it's your boy, the score screen. Can't forget the score screen, yo!